It's now 6 o'clock. We'll call the Berkeley County Planning Commission meeting for September 18, 2023 to order. Sarah, we can do roll call, please.
Eddie Goppenauer.
Here.
Linda Barnhart. Eric Goff.
Here.
Buchanan Norton. Ken Lewis.
Present.
Daniel Gant.
Here.
Michael Bush.
Present.
Ronald Truitt.
Present.
Thank you. We have a quorum tonight. The first or second item on the agenda is approval of the agenda. Have a motion by Mr. Goff to approve. Get a second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Truitt. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Likewise for no. The agenda is approved. Sunshine Law speakers, I don't believe we had anybody sign up, did we? Okay. No Sunshine Law speakers tonight. Have a approval for the minutes of the last meeting, which would have been September 5th.
Move to approve.
Just one minor change already shared with Sarah. Linda Barnhart presiding over that. Second for the approval.
Second.
Second from Mr. Truitt. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed?
Due to absence.
We have one abstention due to absence. The minutes are approved. We have 5 public hearings tonight. I'm going to start out with 428 Torreytown Road.
The first public hearing is a request for waiver. The project is 428 Torreytown Road, file 2308-280. The developer is Scott and Jeanette Nicholson. The property is located in the Mill Creek District, tax map 13, parcel 29.21, and is located at 428 Torreytown Road, approximately half a mile north of Sam Mason Road. The developer is proposing the creation of 2 1.5 acre parcels and a 2.08 acre residue, which their existing home is located on. The new lots would be served by private well and septic. The developer is requesting a waiver to section 305.4.1 of the subdivision ordinance, requiring a minimum of 2 acres and WV DOH road frontage to proceed through the preliminary final plat process. The 2 1.5 acre parcels would access the property via Charming Lane, which is privately owned and maintained by the Southside Homeowners Association. The Southside HOA has provided a letter stating that they have voted to incorporate the 2 lots into their HOA once they are platted. The 2.08 acre parcel that the Nicholsons will retain will still access via Torreytown Road. Since the proposed lots will meet the minimum size requirement for private well and septic, and the Southside HOA will be incorporating the new lots into the HOA, staff recommends approval of the waiver request to section 305.4.1, requiring a minimum of 2 acres and WV DOH road frontage to proceed through the preliminary final plat process.
Now, do we have anybody to represent the project? Okay, Scott, you want to come up? This is a public hearing. If you have anything to state about this project, we ask you step forward, ask your questions, state your name for the records.
There is no one. I move to close public hearing.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Goff and a second by Mr. Goppenauer to close the public hearing. Planning Commission members, do you have any questions for Scott on this project?
There are no questions.
I'm just confused because it says developers requesting a waiver for a subdivision ordinance requiring a minimum of 2 acres for well and septic. And then down here at the bottom, it says, since the proposed lots meet the minimum size requirement for well and septic.
The preliminary final requires 2 acres, and it's never matched up with the size requirement of 60,000 square feet for private well and septic if it was to be subdivided through a sketch plan, prelim plan, final plat. It's always been a 2 acre minimum for preliminary final plat. So it meets the health department recs, but it doesn't
meet our ordinance.
meet our ordinance.
That's what I was getting at. Okay.
Yep.
I'm fine
Always
with
been
that.
that way.
I'm fine with that. I didn't think it met the ordinance, but I know it met the health department.
It meets the ordinance in terms of it meets it if it would go through like a full subdivision process, but it doesn't meet it in
We
terms.
changed that to 2 acres.
2 acres, yeah. It's 60,000 square feet, which is 1.37 acres.
I got you.
So
I'm good. I just, like I say, I was confused on the way it was written, but I'm good. Moving forward.
Yes, sir. I make a motion, we accept staff recommendation for the approval of the waiver request.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Mr. Gokenhour and a second by Mr. Gant to accept staff recommendations for the waiver of section 305.4.1 of the subdivision ordinance. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Scott. Next item on the agenda is heritage storage at Rockcliffe Drive.
This public hearing is a request for sketch plan advancement. The project is Heritage Storage at Rockcliffe, file 2305-186. The developer is 53 LLC, and the engineer is D.A. Stansberry. It's located in the Hedgesville District, tax map 38C, parcel 1, and is located at 1955 Rockcliffe Drive, approximately 0.60 miles south of its intersection with Hedgesville Road. This project proposes a self-storage facility on 1.7 acres to be served by public water and sewer. At the August 21st, 2023 Planning Commission meeting, the developer was granted a waiver to section 801.1.10 requiring all driveways which provide ingress and egress to off-street parking areas to be paved. On June 23rd, 2023, County Engineer Doug Smith issued a letter of approval stating that a review of the above-mentioned project was completed and found to be in compliance with the subdivision ordinance. The sketch plan meets the requirements of the subdivision ordinance, therefore staff recommends advancement of the sketch plan to the preliminary plan stage.
Thank you, Laura. Do we have anyone here to represent the project?
Chris Stansberry, representing.
This is a public hearing. If you have any comments on the heritage storage at Rockcliffe Drive, we invite you to step forward, state your name and your concerns.
There is no one. I'll move to close public hearing.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Goff and a second by Mr. Gant to close the public hearing. Planning Commission members, do you have any questions for Dirk on heritage storage at Rockcliffe?
If there are no questions, I'll make a motion to accept staff recommendation and advance the sketch plan to preliminary plan stage.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Gant, a second by Mr. Gokenhour. Okay, to accept the staff recommendations and advance the sketch plan to the preliminary plan stage. Planning Commission members, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Likewise for no. How about you, Mr. Bush? He's still there, I think.
Aye.
Oh, okay. Motion carries. Thank you, Dirk.
Thank you.
Try not to forget you're over there, Mike. Next project is Willow Glen, Section 1, Phase 1.
Yes, this is a request for final plat approval. The project is Willow Glen, Section 1, Phase 1, lots 1 through 36, 65 through 70, and 158 through 177. The file number is 2306-229. The developer is MDG WG Incorporated. The engineer is Integrity Federal Services. It's located in the Mill Creek District, map 6, parcel 73. The project is located on Middleway Pike, approximately 1 mile east of Interstate 81. The project proposes the creation of 62 lots on 10.07 acres to be served by public water and sewer. The final plat meets the requirements of the subdivision ordinance, therefore staff recommends final plat approval contingent upon receipt of surety in the amount of $815,700. Plat to be released upon receipt of surety and completed developer's agreement.
Thank you. Do we have anyone here to represent the project?
Lynch Christian here representing the developer, and Jason Gerhardt is here with IFS.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. If you have any comments on Willow Glen, Section 1, Phase 1, we invite you to step forward, state your name, and any comments that you have for the project.
There is no one. I'll move to close public hearing.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Goff and a second by Mr. Gant to close the public hearing. Planning Commission members, do you have any questions for person on this project?
If there are no questions, I'll make the motion to accept staff recommendation. Final plat meets requirements of subdivision ordinance. Recommend the final plat approval contingent upon amount of surety of amount of $815,700. Plat to be released upon receipt of surety and complete developer's agreement.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Gant and a second by Mr. Goff to accept staff recommendations for final plat approval contingent on receipt of surety in the amount of $815,700. Said plat to be released upon receipt of surety and completed development agreement. Planning Commissioners, any other comments? Not. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
All those opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next project is Arcadia Springs North, Section 1, Phase 10.
Yes, this is a request for final plat approval. The project is Arcadia Springs North, Section 1, Phase 10, lots 137 through 152, 158 through 172, and 210 through 213. The file number is 2304-130. The developer is Monarch Development Group Incorporated. The engineer is Gordon. It's located in the Arden District, map 12, parcel 29.3. The property is located on Van Cleesville Road, approximately 2,000 feet east of its intersection with Needy Road. The developer is proposing 35 single-family detached lots on approximately 8.6 acres to be served by public water and sewer. The final plat meets the requirements of the subdivision ordinance, therefore staff recommends final plat approval contingent upon receipt of surety in the amount of $864,318. Plat to be released upon receipt of surety and completed developer's agreement.
Do we have anyone to represent the project?
Bench Christian here representing the developer.
This is a public hearing. If you have any comments on this project, we invite you to step forward, state your name and any comments that you have for the record.
Close public hearing.
Second.
Have a motion by Mr. Goff and a second by Mr. Gant to close the public hearing. Planning Commission members, do you have any questions on Monarch Development Group?
There are no questions, sir. I'll make a motion. We accept staff recommendation for final plat approval contingent upon receipt of surety in the amount of $864,318. Plat to be released upon receipt of surety and completed development agreement.
Have a motion by Mr. Gokenhour and a second by Mr. Goff to accept staff recommendations for final plat approval contingent on receipt of surety in the amount of $864,318. The said plat to be released upon receipt of surety and completed developer's agreement. Planning Commission members, any other comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
And like sign for opposed. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
The final public hearing tonight is Southbrook, Section 2, Phase 2.
Yes, this is a request for final plat approval. The project is Southbrook Section 2, Phase 2, lots 322, 326, 332 through 353, and 399 through 400. The file number is 2306-210. The developer is Chandler's Glen LLC. The engineer is Gordon. It's located in the Mill Creek District, map 3, parcel 9. The property is located on Shiley Road, approximately 0.3 miles north of Hatchery Road. This phase proposes 29 single-family lots and 28 townhouse lots on approximately 20.6 acres to be served by public water and sewer. The final plat meets the requirements of the subdivision ordinance. Therefore, staff recommends final plat approval contingent upon receipt of surety in the amount of $1,303,800. Plat to be released upon receipt of surety and completed developer's agreement.
Do we have anyone to represent the project?
Jason Gerhardt with Integrity Federal Services and Hunter Wilson representing the applicant.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. We invite you to step forward. If you have any comments, state your name and your comments for the record.
Move to close public hearing.
Second.
Have a motion by Mr. Goff and a second by Mr. Gant to close the public hearing. Planning Commission members, do you have any questions for the developer or the engineering?
There are no questions. I'll make the motion. We accept staff recommendation, final plat approval contingent upon receipt of surety in the amount of $1,303,800. Plat to be released on receipt of surety and completed developer's agreement.
Second. Have a motion by Mr. Gant and a second by Mr. Gokenhour to accept staff recommendations for final plat approval contingent upon receipt of surety in the amount of $1,303,800. Said plat to be released upon receipt of surety and completed developers agreement. Planning Commission members, any other comments?
That was Mr. Goff that seconded it.
Mr. Goff, sorry, get that, okay. If there are no other comments, I'll take a vote. For all those in favor? Likewise for no. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 7, staff council discussion or any action or motion.
Nothing going on right now.
And I move to adjourn.
I have a motion by Mr. Goff to adjourn,
Second.
second by Mr. Gann. Time is 6:15.